Hello everyone. So today's study is going to be on the difference between the breath, the spirit, and the soul. In the last video that I did on the state of the dead, I did not fully cover what the difference is between the breath, the spirit, and the soul. So let's head inside and get right into it. So the first word that we're going to start with is breath. What is the definition of breath? Let's go to the 1828 dictionary and breath. Number 1, the air inhaled and expelled in the respiration of animals. 2, life. 3, the state or power of breathing freely, opposed to a state of exhaustion from violent action. As I am without breath, I am scarce of breath. 4, respite, pause, time to breathe. As, let me take a breath, give me some breath. So now, let's go to Genesis, chapter 2, and verse 7. Let's go to Genesis, chapter 2, and verse 7. Genesis, chapter 2, and verse 7. And it says, "And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul." So, when the breath of life was put in man by God, that soul became a living soul. Now let's go to Psalms. Psalms chapter 18 and verse 15. And it says, "Then the channels of waters were seen, and the foundations of the world were discovered. At thy rebuke, O Lord, at the blast of the breath of thy nostrils." Let's also go to Job chapter 12 and verse 10. The book of Job, chapter 12 and verse 10. And it says, "In whose hand is the soul of every living thing, and the breath of all mankind." So we have here, in whose hand is the soul of every living thing, and the breath of all mankind. So now let's go look at the spirit. What is the spirit? Let's look up the definition of spirit. The 1828 dictionary and the definition of spirit. Spirit. Spirites, from spirio, to breathe, to blow. Number 1, primarily wind, air in motion, hence breath. All bodies have spirit and pneumatical parts within them. Point 2, animal excitement or the effect of life, ardor, fire, courage, elevation or vehemence of mind. The troops attack the enemy with great spirit. The young man has the spirit of youth. He speaks or acts with the spirit. Spirits, in the plural, is used in nearly a like sense. The troops began to recover their spirits. Now, let's go to Genesis chapter 41 and verse 8. Genesis chapter 41 and verse 8. And it says, "And it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled." The verse continues on. Now let's go to Exodus chapter 6 and verse 9. Exodus and chapter 6 and verse 9. And it says, "And Moses spake so unto the children of Israel, but they hearkened not unto Moses for anguish of spirit, and for cruel bondage." And now let's go to 1 Samuel 1 and verse 15. And it says, "And Hannah answered and said, No, my Lord, I am a woman of sorrowful spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but have poured out my soul before the Lord. And 1 Kings chapter 21 and verse 5. 1 Kings chapter 21 and verse 5. And it says, But Jezebel his wife came to him and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad, that thou eatest no bread? So here we see with the spirit different verses where the spirit of man is being talked about. Let's go to Job chapter 27 and verse 3. Job chapter 27 and verse 3. And it says, And all the while my breath is in me, and the Spirit of God is in my nostrils. And Job chapter 32 and verse 8 says, But there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding. So take for example an engine. It is an engine before the oil is put into the crankcase, before the gas is put in the tank, before the key is turned on and the engine is started, and the pedal is pressed down to drive the wheels. Just so, man is God's engine. He was just as much a man as a soul before receiving the breath of life as after he received it. He is still a man, a soul, after the breath leaves him, but he is a dead man, a dead soul. The Bible plainly teaches that the soul can die. Let's go to Ezekiel 18 and verse 4. Behold, all souls are mine, as the soul of the Father, so also the soul of the Son is mine. The soul that sinneth, it shall die. And verse 20. And it says, The soul that sinneth, it shall die. The Son shall not bear the iniquity of the Father, neither shall the Father bear the iniquity of the Son. The righteousness of the righteous shall be upon him, and the wickedness of the wicked shall be upon him. Friend, I pray that you can see that every deed done in the body is done in the soul, and the soul that sinneth against God shall die. Paul gives us this admonition in Romans 12 verse 1. I beseech ye therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service.